Welcome back to Recap IT. Today we are going to recap a 2011 romantic drama movie titled Always. A former boxer turned parking lot attendant finds hope in the love of the blind telemarketer who walks into his booth one day. But before we begin, please consider subscribing to this channel. Now without wasting any further time, let's begin, shall we? Chol Min, an ex-boxer, is introduced at the start of the film. To supplement his income, he works various jobs. He takes over a parking attendant job one day. Young Hwa, a blind woman, enters unexpectedly and invites Chol Min to watch a drama. She appears to have been observing the previous parking attendant's drama. However, when I realized it wasn't the previous parking attendant and learned that Chol Min will be taking over the job after Young Hwa leaves, I was relieved. Chol Min notices her waiting for a cab in the rain and invites her in to witness the show. Days pass, and Young Hwa continues to visit her drama set. Chol Min begins to anticipate young arrival Hwa's as the two become acquainted. She expresses her sensitivity to smell and requests that he open the windows. Chol Min realizes it's his shoes, and Young Hwa is astonished to see he's purchased a new pair the next day. She gets startled by a passing car one night as she walks away from the scene and shatters the neighboring bottles. Chol Min rushes over to help her. He pays the shopkeeper enough for both the shattered bottles and to keep an eye on the parking lot for him, then drives Young Hwa to the hospital. Young Hwa inquires about his name on the way back, and Chol Min responds that it is Marcelino, which is his christened name. The injury makes it difficult for Young Hwa to walk. As a result, Chol Min offers to drive her to her home. When they get at her house, Young Hwa presents him with 2 concert tickets in exchange for his assistance in getting her home. Chol Min, on the other hand, has no companions with whom he can travel, so Young Hwa offers to accompany him. Chol Min gladly accepts her offer and returns home. Following that, the two head to the concert together. They head to a restaurant where Young Hwa used to eat with her father after the show. Young Hwa discloses during their conversation that she used to be a sculptor before she became blind. She then expresses an interest in Chol Min and inquires about his childhood life. Chol Min sarcastically urges her to mind her own business, which offends Young Hwa. Chol Min takes a quiet walk home with her. Chol Min confessed to her that he used to be a boxer when he was younger after she arrived at his house. However, he had a dreadful life. He couldn't tell her because he was embarrassed, not because he had forgotten about her. Young Hwa enters the house without reacting. Young Hwa is summoned to her boss's office the next day at work. He offers her a present and flirts with her. As a result, Young Hwa rushes out of the office. Chol Min waits for Young Hwa that evening, but she does not pause to see the drama. Chol Min is summoned to a bar by his coach, who inquires as to where he has been all this time. Chol Min admitted to serving 4 years in prison. He quit boxing and went to work for a debt collector, where he began abusing people. However, one of the men he beats burned himself on fire and jumped out of his apartment window one day. Chol Min tries to save him, but the flames force him to let go. As the man collapses, he notices a car accident on the road. Chol Min is currently being treated in a nursing facility by a nun for the guy he assaulted. He is given a handmade hairband by the nun, which he intends to deliver to his sweetheart. When Young Hwa returns home, her employer is waiting for her. He walks in and asks for a cup of tea. He tries to seduce her, and when she refuses, he hits her. Chol Min arrives at the perfect moment to save her. He beats him up and tells him not to come back. Young Hwa is enraged with Chol Min for assaulting her employer, fearful of losing her job. Chol Min offers to look after her, but Young Hwa declines, claiming that he is making her seem terrible. Chol Min goes out of the house, leaving the hairband he had brought for her. Chol Min follows Young Hwa to work the next day. He discovers Young Hwa waiting for him in the parking lot later that evening. She informs him that she has resigned from her position. They decide to go out on the weekend. Chol Min presents her with a dog on the day of their date to keep her occupied at home. He takes her to the location of his former orphanage. Chol Min later returns to the gym and asks to be taken back. Chol Min is training at the gym and living peacefully with Young Hwa as time passes. He finally began competing in competitions. Chol Min is taken to the columbarium by Young Hwa to visit her parents. Young Hwa introduces him as her boyfriend to her departed parents. Young Hwa tells Chol Min that she saw a man in flames falling from a building while she brought her parents out for a day out. She lost control of the car as a result of the preoccupation and was involved in an accident in which she went blind and both of her parents died. Chul Min realizes it's the identical automobile accident that occurred the day the man he beat up lit himself ablaze. Chul Min goes to the gym because he is overwhelmed with remorse. When he returns, he discovers that there are containers strewn around the place and that Yung Hua has been taken to the hospital. If they don't treat Yung Hua, she will go blind permanently in a month, according to the doctor. However, the procedure would be too expensive. Chul Min approaches one of the boxers with whom he used to spar and demands the money. Chul Min is introduced to his boss, who runs an illegal combat club. He hands over the money and instructs Chul Min to erase any traces of him, stating that if he is detected, he and his loved ones will not be rescued. As a result, he destroys all of his identification. Chul Min goes to the gym and offers his trainer the money, requesting that he cover Yung therapy. Hua's. Yung Hua refuses to get treated because she believes she is to blame for the death of her parents. Chul Min succeeds in persuading her after much effort. He drives her to the hospital and promises not to leave her until she has completed all of her treatments. Chul Min leaves to fight after watching her go to the operation. The boxer who put him up advised him to concentrate just on surviving in the ring, because even the finest boxers, such as himself, can only walk out of the ring. Chul Min, however, surprises everyone by winning the bout. Chul's setup Min's boxer is envious of him, and he has gambled against him. So, with his henchman, he rams Chul Min into his car, stabbing him in the spine. They also seize all of his winnings from the fight. Yung Hua regains her sight in the hospital, but Chul Min is nowhere to be found. She waits for him, but when he doesn't show up, Yung Hua goes to the cops. Yung Hua refuses to leave when the house owners compel her to since she is waiting for Chul Min. When she does, though, she receives a parcel for Chul Min. Yung Hua goes to the address where the package was mailed, which turns out to be the same nursing home that Chul Min went. Chul patient Mins is introduced to her. He tells Yung Hua everything about the accident, including the fact that he was the man who fell off the building. Yung Hua is now a potter after 2 years. She also works as a physiotherapist volunteer at a hospital. Chul Min is crippled as a result of the accident. He's been admitted to the hospital. Yung Hua is volunteering and is taken aback when she sees her. Although Yung Hua does not recognize him, she offers to massage him. Chul Min massages her quietly and tearfully without exposing who he is. Yung Hua returns to the pottery store later to make a delivery. She leaves her turtle there until she goes for a walk with her dog. Chul Min, who is now on crutches, stands there watching her and walks into the pottery shop as she walks away. He purchases a pot while simultaneously smuggling the turtle out. As he walks away, Chul Min is pursued by Yung Dog. Hua's. Yung Hua apologizes and only recognizes him as a hospital patient. As a result, Chul Min walks away fast. When she returns to the pottery store, the turtle has vanished. When Yung Hua notices her dog's strange behavior and learns that a man in crutches had stopped her, she realizes that the man in crutches is Chul Min. Chul Min is nowhere to be seen as she goes around the neighborhood looking for him. She recalls the location of Chul Orphanage Mins and rushes there. The turtle is released into the river by Chul Min, who is already there. Yung Hua arrives as well, and for the first time, she meets and sees him. The two sadly reunite, and the film comes to a close. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, until next time.